Okay. Okay, fine. So I have enabled the screen sharing, and we can start now. We can start. So other people can join in between.
Okay, is it visible? Hello.
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. So if you guys are new with this IDE, so I'll tell few things about this. This is if you have worked in like some hosting environment, it is mostly it is you can, I guess you can be familiar with this. So it's run on localhost 8888. So it support. So you can access your drive from this. Suppose uh, I'll so we can create our own Python file from here by clicking new. So this is how we create a Python file in Jupyter notebook. Yeah, you we can rename this, rename this. So yeah, that's it. This is our ID. Uh, First thing, I'll walk you through this ID, and this is our text field or text editor. Walk you through I'll tell you this feature ID's features while we go through our class. Whenever I come across some necessary things, so I should tell. Then I'll we mean by that is data with we have a feature in this IDE. So if we create a node, we can do it by so we have a this drop down. We can mark it as markdown. So this cell will now not be included in code, but will be written as some notes. So you can see we have a cell. No, this is written as some comment or notes. You can say this is a feature of the Jupyter notebook, and this is called Jupyter notebook, guys. So if you want to run this Jupyter file, you can't open with any other like Python compiler. It should be open in the Jupyter notebook itself. So it has its Python extension. Let me show you. Okay, I didn't share, I guess. So yeah, what are the data types? So Python has few Python has data type. First of all, it first is integer. So we know about integer. It is from minus infinity to infinity. Same here. We can use for positive or mostly all the whole numbers, and from minus z to plus z, integer. And second we have float number, float. So float, we know float, uh, suppose for example integers is 1, 12, 56, 780 or any value in floater. Suppose in floater we have decimal values. So wherever we have a decimal value, it is float point. It is called float data type. Like these are float data. Like if you're familiar integer, this is a discrete value. If you are familiar with stats, no, then it would be easier to tell you like that. It is a discrete value, and this is for your continuous scale. So it is integer, this is float. And another data types, one is string. So these are the basic things. One is string. String is a sequence of characters, as we can say. So suppose my name, for example, it's Nikhil. So string, it is how many character we have? Five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 character within my string. It is also a data type in our Python. So we have other derived data types in our Python, like list. Okay, before that we have a boolean. So boolean, what is boolean? As we know, boolean is a binary value, 0 or 1. But in here it is called true or false. So true and false, these are few. There are more data types, but this is ones are which are necessary. By time, when the time comes, I'll tell you more. So now coming to derived one. So as you see there, it is not in the syntax. So I'll tell you more about syntax and things later in the class. So it throws me an error. I told you about syntax yesterday. The compiler or interpreter needs to have some specific things to like read our code. It has to follow some rules. So I'll tell you about how the rules, what are the rules, how we do it, and how can we avoid these errors. So let me spam some derived class. So one is data types. Sorry, list. We will talk about each of them in detail in the later classes. List, dictionaries, tuples. So don't worry about the things if you get overwhelmed with this. Sets, you have heard sets. So these are few derived data types. So let me. So these are cell. Okay. Uh, as you can see, if we suppose we want to run something, so we have a shortcut key for this. If you want to run some cell, suppose I want to write my name. Okay, name is my Nikhil. We'll talk this out later also. So suppose I want to run this code in this Jupyter notebook. One of the feature is you can run the segmented part of your code. Suppose I don't want to run my code, whole of the code. So I just want to run this segment of my code. So I can do it by clicking. Uh, I can do is one thing run, or I can do is I'll hit shift plus enter. So this code is so suppose. So as you can see, we have an output that is Nikhil. Okay, uh, you're free feel to feel free to ask anything if you don't get it. All right. enter. So we have all the shortcut keys over here if you want to know all the shortcut keys. So by the with the time you can master it all. So now I'll start off with numbers right now. Okay, okay, sorry. Okay, I'll just clean it a bit. Okay, here. So, so if we have another technique to comment it out, we just need to write hash value. One thing is we can do is we can put a markdown. So we have a nice notes type of thing, or else we can write this hashtag value. After this, everything is it's not gonna included in our code, or it will not throw any error. So if you want to take a note, so suppose we in we want to write some big code, and I want to like I have my team, couple of other team members. So if you want to make them understand what you have written, or what the specific function or sub specific code, or like specific why have you used this data type, so you can comment it out like yes. Okay, for now, first lesson is of numbers. So, so like see, uh, we don't have any error right now. We just ran it. So numbers. Suppose uh, we have 8 plus 7. As you can see, I just ran this cell 8 plus 7, which is 15. So you get that. So we have a usual mathematical operation running. So we can do all this stuff like 8 into 7 will get our value 56. All right. So we can do is 8 div yeah, we have a division. So we have a division. 8 divided by 7, 1.14. So as you can see, 8 into 7, it is 56. So as you can see, 8 into 7 type. What is type? Don't worry about this. It is called a function. It is an inbuilt function which Python has gave us. So I want to show this 8.8 into 7. As you can see, if I want to check something, if we have anything or class or you can numbers or integers or anything we have in this, if you want to check it what type of what data type it has, so we will enclose uh, that thing in the type function and we'll run it. So as you can see, it has integer type. For same, I will do for our next example. So as you can see, it has float. So this is the power of Python. You can see same thing, 8 into 7 or 8 divided by 7. It if in C or previous language which are statically typed, if you want to do same operation, you can't do it. Will throw an error because you have an integer data thing, and uh, so before that, after I'll teach you something called assignment. I'll talk about this in detail. So bear with me for a few minutes. I guess next thing I'll come up to the assignment. So few more operation. So suppose I don't want to get this floater value. I want to take a remainder. Suppose I want to know what is the remainder of 8 to 3. So what would be? It would be t. So 3, uh, 6 and 6 minus 8 would be 2. So this is how we get remainder in Python. Okay. So what is significance of remainder here? So suppose if I want to check something, suppose I want to check if number is even or odd. Okay, let's talk about this. Suppose one of the tasks is that I want to check if some number is even or odd. So suppose let's take 4. If 4 is divided by 2, its remainder should be 0 if if it is even number. So anything divided by 2, its remainder is 0. Is it even, right? So suppose I'll take 2, 1. So we know 5 is an odd number. It's not an even. So we have any remainder other than 0. If we have 0, then it is like completely divisible. So it's even. So one of the use case of this, it is also called modulo. So now I want to show you one thing. How do we write powers in Python? So it is, suppose we want to get 7 square. So we write it by double asterisk mark. It's 49. So this is how we write stars with sorry, power in Python. It's double star. Now I'll show you. Like suppose I want to write, I have an expression like 9 plus, oh sorry, 9 plus 8 into 7 minus 6. It's 59. So this principle, BODMAS with bracket, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Also, Python also follows this thing. So first of all, it will multiply 8 into 7, then add or subtract, whatever. So we can put our bracket. We can use our bracket here. So it will we can get our desired expression's value. Okay, it will first get our bracket. So yeah, first it will solve our bracket, then this bracket, then it will multiply both the values. Okay, fine. Are we good here?
Yes, great going.
Hello.
Yes. All good.
Yeah. Now I'll start off with assignment. What is assignment in our Python? How do we assign and what is assignment? So suppose we have an expression. We have an expression like I have to do this thing, some calculation multiple times. So it is quite it will come in handy if I can assign some value. Suppose I want to pay taxes. I have an income of like 50 lakh. Suppose, is it 50? Okay, I wish I had. Okay, suppose I have an income of 50 lakh and I have to pay taxes of, say, I have a rigid frame here, 500. And so what the taxes what is the left income I need to find out. So I'll assign a value here, left underscore income. I'll come to the nomenclature and how this we have to keep the name of the variables here just in a bit. So suppose we, how do we calculate left income? So we'll reduce our taxes from income. So income minus taxes. So I'll see how income. Uh, if you want to, if you have some big assignment, so like a variable name, if you hit tab, it can auto complete your variable or function name. So it is a like a hack for Jupyter Python book. So we have a reduced value or left income. So coming to this, we have few rules how to assign so it is, so I have established that it is quite handy if we assign some uh, s- uh, any data type to some assignment that is called variable. So we have a variable, so we have few rules to come up with how we have to keep the name. Yeah. So first rule is we we cannot start with the numbers if we want to keep the name. So in the real world, also we have a 26 letter in English. We have a 26 letter. We have to choose the name from that. We can't keep like 100 Nick. So no one has that kind of name, and it is illogical, I guess. So unless it's in law Elon Musk, his kid's name is weird. So yeah, so it doesn't have to start with number, or else it will throw an error. Suppose 12C, I'll write off with 45. It will throw me an error, invalid syntax. Yeah, I can't start my variable name with number. And second rule, you cannot uh, you cannot separate your variable with space. Suppose I have my left income. So you see how I separated. If I want, the first thing is in Python coding, if you want to, your first thing is how you want to readability. So Python is mostly quite famous because it is highly readable. It is most similar to most quite like similar to English thing. So it is this is the reason it is way more popular than other language. So we can't separate this term by space. So if we do that, we'll again get an error. See, we have an error. So we can do is we can separate it by an underscore. So we have underscore. See, there is no error. Yeah. Uh, under now we can't put any special character either. So apart from underscore, we can't put of the and any of the special character. So it is the third thing. So and couple of more. So it's not a rule, but basically for the better practice, we have to avoid this thing. Like first thing you gotta avoid is you try to keep all your this assignment name in lowercase. You have if you do, it is quite readable and good thing. It is a better practice, more readable and better to understand also. Second thing, you have to avoid these keywords. So in Python, as you can see, some words, some letters are highlighted over here. Now this integer, for integer, we have an keyword int called int. We'll know this thing in later class. How this, what are the keywords and how, why. If you can also ask this question that if it is dynamically typed language and you don't have to assign or tell or compiler or interpreter that it is integer or a float or a string. So why do we have int keyword here? So answer is that we have to sometimes change the data types from one to other. So this keyword is for example list. See this thing how it is highlighted. So if you are assigning some variable name and you have a highlight over there, so be alert, like something is wrong. It can Your code can go wrong. So please avoid this. Like I added one, and now you are fine to go with. So please remember this. Just avoid this keywords to begin with your variable name. So are we good with assignment? So till now what we have done, we have learned what kind of Python has basic data types. We have learned numbers, mathematical operators, how this number interact. We have learned assignment, how things assigns. Okay. Do we have questions? No. Okay, fine.
Yeah, let me just yeah. If
So
any
basically,
question or something is there, so I'll request just anybody can ask. I have one question which I will ask at the end because that is not related to this. Related in the sense, you may answer it later. You had used one term that is statically typed. So you may explain it maybe at the end. Like, okay, so that is something I think everybody might not be aware about. What is statically typed language? So that we may discuss once we are done with all this.
okay. Okay, so I'll go with, I'll tell you let's say we have learned assignment, right? So suppose I have an integer a. I'll create a variable a, which is equal to 5, let's say. So yeah, so how the assignment works? First of all, right hand side goes uh, ha- has some value and which is assigned to left hand side. So suppose we can also do is we can assign a to a, which is not a problem. Suppose also we can assign a plus a. So what do you think? What would be the answer? So why it is 20? So it was a thing because I have ran this cell before typing a to get out. So once I have done that, so let me show you once again. You might be get confused why it is. Suppose this I'll begin with 10. So I'll get b equals to b plus b, and I'll push for out. So 10 plus 10, 20. So once I again, let's say I again run this cell, it's 40, 20. Now its new value is 20. Now once again, it will be 8. So do you understand? So we may not have this liberty to run over and over again in different ID, but as this can we can run multiple time, same we can run same cell multiple time. So we have to be careful when we suppose in some you have an error, so you hit multiple times some value. So we have to careful. If you don't, you can't hit run multiple you cannot run some cell multiple times. It may get you this issue. So be careful about this. Okay. So yeah, this was quite a like. So I have talked about it before. So Suppose I want to know what is the type of int this variable that I have b. So it is integer. So it this type function, it is a function we can use for anything. It may be variable, it may be class, it may be function also. Its output. So this is quite we have to like uh, keep in mind whenever we do this thing, we have to when keep in mind, or we have to know uh, like at every stage we have to know this is variable or this object has certain types, this type. So you may get if you want, you may get wrong. This will come with the experience, or I'll tell you what is the ambiguity comes along if you don't trace the type of some object like variable. So we will have this uh, issue. So this was all about assignment, variable, and or mathematical operations. So I guess I'll if we don't have any, do we have any queries?
Okay,
Okay.
Sonali, are you
Uh,
getting the flow? Is it good with you? Yeah, is the flow good? Are you able to understand? Because I believe
Yes,
rest. Okay, okay, then it is good because rest are probably familiar with most of these things. Hmm.
okay.
Fine, fine. So I think we can go ahead, Nikhil. We can continue.
yeah. So let's start off with strings right now. So what is string? String, as I told you, it is a sequence of characters. So how do we call, or what is the syntax of the string? How we cannot just like as you saw like before, we have a variable. We have this syntax. If we want to just we can assign this. We can create this variable, just variable. So this is an variable. It does not have any syntax. We just write off the name and it is initiated. Now, see, we as we don't have we haven't assigned anything to this variable, so it is giving me the error. So what is string? So if we want to make this as a string, I mean I want to write variable thing. So I will start off with I'll use single, or we have an output as a string, single colon, or one more way to write is variable with double colon. So anything, whichever works for you, you can write. So can we assign some variable to the strings? Yes, we can. String. Suppose we have a variable, we call it as var. I am variable. So when we call this var, so we have an output as am variable. So we have assigned a string. Now, can we check the data type of this? Yes, sure we can. So what we expect? Yeah, it is str, which stand for string. So yes. Now, uh, first of all, first, uh, and I want to say this. It is an ordered sequence. Like everything in the string is ordered. If it is not in a order, then it will not make sense, right? So every character, even this space, you can see this space between I and M, it is also included in the string. So it is an ordered list, you can say characters. The string is made up of ordered characters. So I want to talk about now in what is indexing. Indexing. Have we have heard about it? Sure, we have. So what is indexing in string? Suppose I have assigned. First of all, I will tell you what is syntax for string. Okay, so indexing is nothing but the position of the letters, like characters. So I, suppose I, we have a I am variable. So it is in zeroth place. Space is in first place. This A is in second place. This so our counting start from 0 to n, whatever the length of the string might be. So where, so we will put a this square bracket. This is how we this is the syntax for indexing. So suppose we want to know the zeroth place. So where 0, which is I, it is I. Suppose we want to know 6, it is a sixth place, like 0, 1, 2, 3, space 4, 5, and A6. This is V after V A. So we get A. So anything like 8, it is I. You can count it, right? This is okay. As we I've talked, I've told you, it starts from 0 to n. So basically, we can also just like I'll create an string hello. So you can see it start off with H is for 0 and E is 1 and so on, right? We can also like we can call this thing with a reverse order, like O 1 0 1 2 3 4. So we have O as 4, right? So we can also call this index with reverse order. So for O, it would be -1, and for L, it would be uh, -2, and so on till 0, right? It starts from 0 and here it ends at 0. From -1 to 0, it would be for L, it would be -2, it would be -3 for this L, it would be -3, 4 for E, and 0 for H. All right. So what, let me clear this out. Okay. So what will I get if I put -1 in where? So we get E. It is last E. Or what if we type -5? I get I. So I guess I. All right. This was all about indexing. You need to practice this. Like indexing is like a basic of the Python. You need to learn indexing thorough. Like you need to have this indexing and slicing is like it is not only required in strings. It you should know this. You will use lot in list, tuple, and you can say in every other uh, like data type, derived data types, in everything. You need to learn this. It is like mandatory thing. In data science, it is used hell lot of times. Like everything is revolving around slicing and indexing, you can say. So I'll start off with slicing. What is slice? So I hope this indexing is clear, how this index worked. And uh, so we have is my screen visible or should I zoom? I forgot to ask that.
For my screen, it is visible. For laptop, I
Okay.
think if somebody is connected through mobile, they may tell.
Oh, oh, it would be a lot better now. Okay. Now going to slicing. Uh, just a minute. I'll attach my charger. Just a minute.
Sure, sure.
Hello. Yeah. So slicing. So how slicing work? First of all, I would like to tell you the syntax. Just like indexing, we have to put a number in the this square bracket. So for slicing, we have couple of things like just like here we have put one value. Button chalu. Uh, we have start thing. It is separated by we need to stop, and we have step. Okay, I'll just make this at mark now. So what is start? Start where what we want to slice. Like we have this where variable. What we suppose we just, want to get from able. Suppose we want to get able from variable. So where we will do it, what we will do is from where we want to start. So for variable like 0, 1, 2, 3, and it is fourth, like fourth. We'll start off with fourth, and we'll start off with 4, and where we want to stop, we will stop at the end, right? So 5, 6, 7. So we'll stop at 7, right? What is step? I'll tell you step in a bit. Okay. For default step is 1, so we'll keep it that way. So for now, we will type two parameters from 4 to 7. So what will we have? Okay. Okay, we have reassigned this variable here. So let me assign it this where equals to. I'll not run that again. So yeah, able. Okay. Now what we have done here, we started from 7 and stopped at 7, from 4 and stopped at 7. But thing is, in Python here in slicing, we include 4 but exclude 7. So it just like uh, if we if you know, if you are from mathematics background, we have square bracket for this side and we have a round bracket for this side. So it is a closed, and this is open interval. This is open interval and this is closed interval. So yeah, 7 is excluded. So what we have to do, we have to type 8 from 8. So are we clear here? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So suppose we want to get so uh, we want to get like first three values. So what we will do, 1 first three value. So it starts from 0 from 3. So we have where from 0, 1, 2. If we as it starts from 0, the first three value would be 2, but as we know 2 is excluded, so we will go up by 1, which is 3. So we'll get 3 values, right? So this is indexing, slicing. We can slice anything. Suppose let's create a new variable who. So remember this, you always want, if you want to initiate a string, you can start with double colon or a single colon. Sam is good. Okay. So can anyone help me? If I want to slice good from who? Hello?
Yes, Varun or Sonali, would you like to attempt?
I want to slice good from this who string.
7 is to 11.
From? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
7 is to 11.
From 11, from 7 to 11. Okay.
7
Let's
is
try.
starting and end is 11.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good for you and good for who. So yeah. So is it clear, right? So one more thing we can do is, if you don't want to, like you are a lazy bum, right? If you want to just stop slicing, but you don't know if it is a lengthy thing, lengthy string, I guess, then you can type -1. It will go directly to the end, as till the end, but you can see we don't have D here. Why? Because we will exclude last. So it work fine in less than thing. You will come across that, but this is also one of the method. Okay. So if, or you can leave this out. Like if you leave this out, second parameter, like second parameter is something you need to type. If like this was the standard syntax for slicing. So this start, stop, and step. These are the parameters. Some are mandatory parameters, and some are like non-mandatory. They are set default within the function. So here, step is, and the both are actually set default. Everything here is set default. If you don't want to write anything, you can do that just like here. uh, you see, so suppose I don't write first start, okay, or I go up to 8, I guess. So what is here? We have Sam is good, Sam is G. We have all previous value from start. Like if we don't write anything or any integer over here, so we will get from start. If we don't write the stop value, so yeah, the default is from 0 and the end is -1. So these are the okay. Now what is step? Step. So step is, suppose I go from start till end and we have step as 1. What do we have here? So 1 was default. As we can see, we don't have any changes. Suppose we will type it as 2. So can you see changes, right? Yeah. What is the changes? It skips a value. So it will not skip. It will it will skip 2 values. Like from S, it went to M, and Y, M and I is together. We had a space. It is also counted in string, so it skipped the space, and now here we have I. It skipped S and it retained space. It skipped G. Then we have O. It skipped this O, and we have D. So are we clear here? What does this step thing do? Suppose we do for 3, it will skip 3 values. So default was 1. We can use this for many purposes. Okay. Now we are done with slicing and indexing. It is very important. So please try to practice more and more. It is used in most of it is used in thing like list, tuples, everything. Anything you learn in Python, you will use this concept. So be thorough with this. So suppose I'm asked, there's one more trick in step. Suppose I'm asked to reverse this string. So we have string as who, Sam is good. We want to reverse this string, which is also called, suppose we want to check some string is palindrome or not, which is reverse and non-reverse, like normal is equal or not. If it is same, it is called palindrome. So it is a like usual question in many interviews. So in Python, in normally we will do is like we catch up where will index to every letter using for loop, and we'll try to extract every value and then compare it. But here we have a trick. So we'll go from start to end, and in step we will do right -1. So you can see it is reverse. So we can check quite easily. We can reverse the string quite easily in Python. Okay, this was all about slicing and indexing. So let me talk about some properties and methods. And methods in Python. All right, let me make this markdown. बंद कर लो. Okay. First of all, first property of the string is it is immutable. what is immutable? So immutable is uh, you you can't change the value. Suppose, for example, if uh, if I declare variable equals to 45 56, I suppose. So what is the value of variable? It is 56, right? So suppose I want to, okay, I'm sorry, this is how it will do for string. I can explain, I will explain this later when we learn string list and tuple. So bear with me. So what is immutable for now? You can't change the value, you can't change the characters within your strings. Like you can't change O for an A. Like you need to change whole string. So this thing, I'll, if you don't understand it right now, so don't worry, we'll cover this, I promise. So string. So suppose I have a variable, suppose my name, like my name is Sage. Okay. We can also assign the string as variable. So it is suppose, and what we do is, and suppose, so I, so like say, if I want to access my 0th character, it would be S, right? Yeah, that we have learned. Suppose I want to change from S Sage to Page. Like I want to do is, I want to remove S and write P. So it is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because string is immutable. You can't it does not support. It just does not support. Okay. This is why it is immutable. Okay. So this is, suppose I write this as first. But what we can do is, suppose my last name is Arts. Okay, we have no problem here. So my full name, see, we will use underscore every time because space does not is not supported in assigning the variable name. So we can add, like we can literally add this string. So what was my full name? It is Sage Art. So see here, we don't have space after E and we don't have space after A. So we need to create a space. Yeah, now it's fine. Sage Arts is my full name. So yeah, this is one of the operation. These string do support addition, so we can add anything. Like so suppose I want to add no plus full name. No, okay, no, say that it can go. So we can assign a different variable name to this, to the what we have wrote here. Suppose random. Now we call random, so it's anything, just random thing. So we can do this. We can assign anything. We can, so yeah. So we have another operation. Suppose we have suppose my first name. First name. So what was it? Sage. So we can also do is multiply, like sage. We can also multiply, like I can multiply it by 10, multiply by 11, anything. So this two basic operation, multiplication and addition, is followed by string. This this was couple of properties. Now we will explore methods in string. So are we good till now?
Yes.
Yeah. So suppose this is one of the trick in Python notebook. So if we so whenever we want, what is method? Method is basically a function. In class we call it as method, but here we have a function. So we need to check what sort of function is in what sort of inbuilt function we have access. We have access right now. So what we do is uh, we'll we'll type our variable, we'll type a dot, and we'll hit tab. So we will see lot of function. Yeah, see, yeah, I'll not go through all. I'll show you couple of them. So let's see. Upper. What we what was my first name? Sage. First was capitalized and other was smaller case. So upper function will do is it will will create an uppercase for every character here. Okay. Similarly, so be careful here. Now, if you want to again check my first name, it is the default. If you want to do is you want to renew. If you have used this function, so you have to renew your variable. So assign it. So you need to assign this whenever you put a function. So you need to assign if you want to create, or if you don't just want to see the output value, that's fine. But if you want to redirect to your previous you mean your variable, so you need to assign it. Okay, now if we hit first name, so it will be created in uppercase. So now it's uppercase. So we have few more, like we have lower. So it will do is, as you can guess, it will make this string as lowercase, right? So you can also do is that this is a function. So if you hit shift plus tab, okay, you have a nice documentation. You can see this is a feature. So you have a nice documentation over here. So what it does, it returns a copy of the string converted to a lowercase. Okay. So first thing, yeah, you type your variable name dot, then hit tab. You have everything at your, okay, like swap case, strip, r strip. You can explore it. Actually, you can go through the documentation. You can go to like Python documentation. Like, or you can type like Python function, like split function. We'll talk this function and everything more in detail. Sorry. Okay. This is official docs.python.org. This is the official documentation provided by Python. So while it opens, so yeah, so you can see it is built-in type. What is, so it is an official. So we will need to, like suppose we want to, we have like copy. So you can read your documentation here. Get, you can read your documentation here. So it is like it, you need to explore this thing on your own. Like we have tons of this methods in Python, inbuilt method people are created. This is, as this is an open source language, so people do contribute it regularly, like regularly. So we, in every version of Python, we have more and more function things. You need to explore everything here. Come every time. Yeah, you need not to know everything at once. So you can just Google it. Like, do we have this kind of function? So we so as with experience, when you go through this programming language and in the thing, you will know like how to explore this function, how to grab the code from Stack Overflow and everything. You will know. So documentation, the primary documentation I told you how we can see, like just hit shift and tab. You'll see the primary thing what this Python has been written. It returns a copy of string converted to uppercase. So this was that. Or if you want to detail, if you want detail of that function, what are the things, so you can have it in documentation. Okay, so I will show you one of the method. It is called split. So we have a parameters here, right? This is called parameters. This is something what it does. Docstring, what is, what it does is return a list of word in a string using sep as a delimiter string. So what it does is, suppose I have my first, okay, let me create another variable. Okay, work, I am very tired today. Okay, this is my work string. So I'll do is, will dot, I'll hit this tab. We have, so I'll do is split. What it did, what it did is it splitted a string. It has created a list. We'll talk about the list in upcoming class, probably the next class, maybe tomorrow. So it has created a list of your every character which is like it is separated by space. So default value for this is space. So if you want to just like if you want to split it by, suppose I, okay, so I is a string. So why this is why do we have the error here? So I is supposed to be string, and string is initiated by single or a double colon, right? So yeah, with every I, it has splitted our, see, we have an I here tired. So it took the previous all thing and, and marked this. we have an upper we have typed a lowercase I, and we have a uppercase I, and uppercase I is different from the lowercase, so it hasn't splitted our string using this I. So mark this. Remember, we have a case difference here, so always careful about these things. Okay, it has splitted. So we have two strings right now. One string is this, and one string is this. And as you can see, I is gone because it is splitted using I, and it will not, you will not get I. So our default value was space. It will, wherever it finds space, it will split your string, right? It has splitted your string. With, suppose I want to do with R, I can see couple of R here. So again, it should be in string. So how many strings we get here? One string. Here we have a R, so it's splitted second string. We have R here, so we have third string. So we have three string, right? So this was all about split function. Okay, you can like you can you can carry like you can practice much, like we have, I told you we have much more functions like so we'll start off with formatting. Formatting in string. Okay. Okay. Till now, we how many methods have we used? We have used type, that tells about the type of, or what is the data type of our object, right? We have uh, we have an upper. We have many methods, right? So one of the method I would like to tell you, I would like to show you. It is print. It is most you can say used, one of the used methods in the. So if what is suppose we have a where, do we have a where, it is 56, right? So we have just an output of where. Suppose we want to print where. What is print? It prints the whatever thing we have in this parenthesis, in this function. So it will do same thing. Okay. So imagine we have to print hello world. So you can see in different language you have seen the hello world, like it is one of the introductory code in mostly all of the programming language. First we learn this. So you, as you can see, Python, it's like very easy. It is just a line. This is, and here we have done with our hello world program. So this is a string hello world, then we which is enclosed in the method called print. It will print whatever we throw it in the parenthesis, right? So suppose my, suppose I guess, so we have suppose I have my age is where. Okay. So you, as you can see this, as you can see, my age is where, it returned me as my age is where. So if I want to print out this variable, right, in with this string also, like I want to type a string with the variable. So how will I do that? Python has a unique feature. It is called dot format. So with this, at the end of the string, right, we will type dot format. It is also a method on its own. So we'll pass var in it. Okay. So in order to do that, we have to place a curly bracket in the string. It is like a placeholder. See, my age is 56. So this is dot format. So we have to uh, create a placeholder what we want to uh, insert it, and we insert it like this. Okay, like let's get into another example. Example, suppose this is string. I want to insert in between. So what we'll do, after the close parenthesis, dot format. Hmm? I want to also, uh, here we have done with ending variable. Suppose we want to insert a string. Then what? Suppose inserted. This string is inserted. This is inserted string. So inserted in format, we can insert anything. Like it can be variable, it can be initiated or non-initiated. What is initiated? The moment we assign some value to our variable, it is called initiated variable. And what is non-initiated? This we haven't initiated it right now. It is like string, a simple string. Okay, are we good till now? This is format, and it is used a lot while you do in some coding. You will come across it is used a lot. Suppose okay. Hello.
For me, the voice was
Okay,
missing
we have
for
to
few
insert multiple
seconds.
things. Wherever we want to insert anything, it works quite fine, right? Here, same thing. We can do this same, like F. We want Fox everywhere. Same, we can have it, right? This is now one more feature from format we have is precision. Precision, and we control width also. Precision and width, right? So suppose I have an okay, we have a number. Suppose I have a number which is 8 divided by 4, 3, which is number 2.6666665. Okay, so we can do is, so precision has its own syntax. I'll, okay, let me show you how does it work. Print this is result, okay, with a space, value is dot format, and what should I write here? Yeah, number. What we should, so yeah. So in this we will assign this suppose as n. Okay. So we'll do is n dot suppose 10. Oh, n, sorry. What is just bear with me a couple of minutes. I'll tell you. Dot suppose 3f. So what do we have here? This is the result. So suppose I copy this one more time. Okay. I'll do the usual thing. So what is the difference here? So we see a quite lot of space here, right? And we don't have that here. And we have lot more numbers after the decimal place, and we have quite fewer. So what happened here? So this, I was talking about syntax. So in the curly bracket, we'll initiate with our variable name with double colon. After double colon, we can write width. Right? Width. How? What is width? This is the space or a space created just before your like a variable which we want to assign or format into. It will create width. So it like if you have a sub code, if you want to utilize some more space to create looks quite nice or like it looks quite good. Suppose you want to create a GUI for a game. I guess suppose you want to create a tic tac toe game. So you have you want to create a couple of lateral, vertical and horizontal lines. So this width feature can come handy in that. We can create this space with width. After width, and its default value is 1. If you don't do it, uh, uh, its default value is 1, so we don't have any space width space over here, and we have 10 width space here, so we have a lot, as we have put 10 here, so we have 10 width here. So we put a dot, and what, and this is precision, guys. What is precision? After decimal place, how many numbers I want in my result. So this number as a result, I have put in 3. So I got 3 numbers after the decimal place. This is called precision. So precision ending with f. It is a float point. We call it as float point. It is must in this. So suppose I want to change it with 2. We'll have 2 decimal place. So suppose I would have 6. Anything that works fine for me. Suppose I want to lessen the space. So yeah, we don't have any space right now. Its default is 1. Okay, guys, this was all about formatting with precision. So till now, what we have learned so far, how what is how Python, what is Python language, how we use some we went to know about what about something about Python language, its data type, how then we have learned about numbers. Okay, we have numbers, then we have learned about operators, mathematical operators, plus modulo, how can we average modulo in doing the even and odd. Then we have basic syntax, how broad mass, functions, in Python language. Then we came across assignment, how we assign. So it has three rules. We cannot use number first. We can use number anywhere, but not in the first place in our variable name. Okay, so we can't use space. We can't use special characters. It is good to keep our variable name in lowercase. So and we saw that how we should why we should avoid the keywords while naming our variable. Then we came to know about string. How string is. It is it has notation, so it can be notated inside a single or double colon. So about that we learn about a type method, our first method type. How so we have couple it reflects your data type whenever we put something in type function. So then we came across indexing. So it start from 0 to n, whatever the length of the string must will be, minus 1 for the last character. Then we got to know slicing. Its basic notation. It has in the square bracket we start off with start, stop, and step separated by double colon. Okay, so we went through that. We learned about the operators. What are the operators in the strings, and then the method. We came to know how the method works. Okay, then we learn about print function, how the print function prints the string or the function or variable whatever it has. Then we came across the format, how we format our print function. We learned about couple of things in format. We then lastly we learn about uh, precision and width in formatting. So do we have any queries till now? Hello.
I don't have. I'm clear with everything you told today.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so this was the plan for the today. I'm done, pretty much done.
All right. Yeah, so you can just elaborate about that statically typed programming languages.
Okay, about the statically typed programming languages. So as you have seen, I have typed number 8 divide by 3. Okay, I have assigned 8 divide by 3 to number, right? So what if, so what is the type of number? Type of number. So it's an float, right?
Yes.
Suppose suppose we I forgot to tell you this. This is an another method. So if you want to get only the integer part, right?
Hmm.
So you can include this is the symbol. If you want to divide any number and you want to get just the integer part, so you have two. Like if you don't, it is 2.66, so it gets only the floor value, right? So this, okay, now after this what do we have? We have integer type. So this can create ambiguity. Suppose I have some function, it only takes integer as a parameter,
Mm-hmm.
and I have did is I have made this notation for division of certain numbers. Now it has changed to like float. It has changed to float. Then if I have a function that only takes integer value, it will throw me an error. So I need to like be really careful while I'll be doing that. But in previous languages like statically typed language, this makes my language like really easy. It goes fast, but it has unexpected data type errors. And if we are not aware of the type, so it will we, I will get bugs for sure. So in statically typed languages, I need to first tell the compiler, before initiating my variable number, I need to start off with an keyword int. Like I can do here, like I will initiate it with int, and I'll like I have a suppose I'll initiate with suppose int result, right? Like we have a syntax error over here. So 5.6, it is a floater value. It is not integer. As we told our compiler that it is an integer data type only. So it will throw me an error. So it is better practice, I guess, to tell the compiler before going. Uh, like it in this case, our compiler or interpreter does uh, calculate the data type at that instant, means at that runtime, not at the compile time. So if we do this in previously in statically typed language, we tell the compiler before initiating our variable, we'll tell them what is the data type. So it is quite you can say uh, in handling this error, we won't be making those errors whenever we assign this kind of floor and ceiling thing. We won't be getting that error. So it is one of the benefit of statically typed language. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 So basically, in statically typed, we initially need to give the data type
Data type
to the
of
variable.
the yeah, of the variable.
Mhm. All right. Thank you.
So yeah, that was today's lesson. If practice and practice a lot, most importantly the slicing and indexing. First of all, you need to like master that. So please practice. If you come across any difficulty, ping me in the group. I'll surely be glad to help you. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Nikhil. I think we can close for the day, and same time we will meet tomorrow. So we need to make a plan today itself. So tomorrow, what we are going to see, and so my plan is that on one day we can have two people presenting. Okay, and and this is basically whatever we may have the topics repeated, no worries. Maybe like Sonali, once you practice this, so probably after 4 or 5 days you can take the same topic. Okay, because once you start sharing, then only you start learning more. Okay, only just listening may not help that much. So for tomorrow, which topics and who would be taking up those? Again, from basics only, from Python programming, very basics only. So today it was wonderfully covered. So tomorrow, which topics who would be taking up?
So
Sir, I will be
later,
taking
sir,
up the
Okay,
collections in
okay.
Python, means list, tuple, dictionary, and sets, and their methods in them.
All right, fine. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, this could be one. How much time would you like to take for it?
Sir, most of the things like slicing, indexing, the Nikhil has covered. So I will wrap up it quickly within 40-45 minutes.
Okay, 45 minutes. Okay, fine. We can have one more
Yes.
topic. Yeah, so this can be one. We can have one more topic.
okay, sir, we can start off. Then, yeah, that is quite okay. We can start off with the Python statement, like if else statement, for loop, while loop. So after
Hmm.
learning these collections and everything, if you learn this statement, then you can handle. You can start off with small project and or assignment, I guess.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. So conditional statements and looping statements. Yes, we can start with that. Fine. Okay. So these two things we will be having to tomorrow. Okay. So who would be taking that? You will be taking that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right.
Sir, operators,
Yes. Yeah.
operators is remaining, sir.
So we can have operators as well. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So I take.
So if you want Ganesh, you can take operators
Yes, sir.
day after tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because yeah, that much understanding we can have. It won't hamper the understanding part. So you can take on 12th.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay then. All right. So let's end up the meeting here. So Nikhil, you are the host now because this is another account, so I exited in between. So you need to end the meeting today.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, sir. Thank you,
All
sir.
right. Yeah. Thanks.